Hey, what's up, Lightbolt Joe here. Today we are going to discuss Saw, the final chapter, aka Saw 3D, aka Saw 7. This film came out in 2010. This was the wrap up of the Saw franchise until 2017's Jigsaw, which we'll talk about. So, we start the movie where we left off, just as many of the good Saws do. In Saw 6, we were left off with Hoffman in a metal reverse bear trap. He like rips his face. So this movie starts with that. He gets out, starts to chase Jill, and then eventually like she goes to internal affairs to say like, hey, like I need protection, like I need that immunity as well, because she's also now dreaming that Hoffman's literally killing her. Pretty cool death scenes in the dreams. So Hoffman stitches himself back up, has a nice little zigzag scar going on, and he now is planning revenge, but also enacting another game. So this game is straight from John, not a Hoffman original. This is not a Hoffman original game. This is a John original that is being enacted on. So Hoffman didn't really have any say in this one. Correction, Hoffman didn't tweak anything in this one. So Bobby Dagan, played by Sean Patrick Flannery, is he claims to be a Saw survivor. It was kind of the theme of this, survive, and he had to insert 2 giant hooks into his pectoral muscles, do something, blah blah blah. This is what he has the scars for. He clearly didn't, but this is what he claims. So he's making a lot of money off of this. He met John Kramer at a book signing many, many years ago, and John confronts him on it because John knows that he's not a Saw victim. So why is he pretending to be a Saw victim? For the cash and for the notoriety, the publicity, etc. Bobby Flagan's wife and his team are a part of this game that Bobby is playing. While Bobby is playing the game, Hoffman and still trying to like get to Jill, and he eventually figures out how to get to Jill. So back in the day, Hoffman had this rookie cop who had to report Hoffman for police brutality, but then instead of getting fired, Hoffman got promoted, and then the cop was sent to an island and then joined internal affairs. So now that he's in IA, Jill went to him because she knows that he has a history with Hoffman, and figuring that the shared history that the both of them have would help protect her. So he gives her the immunity. She is safe in a jailhouse, basically, with armed guards everywhere. But Hoffman, being Hoffman, knows how to trick everyone. So he fakes a dead body. He swaps a dead body out of a coroner's bag for himself to be transported to the police station to then murder everyone. Literally just takes a knife. I don't have any prop with me. And just goes, throat, 1 stab, throat, dead. Breaks into the cell, gets Jill. They have at it. He eventually knocks her out, straps her to a chair, puts the original reverse bear trap mask on her. Her face explodes. Disgusting, because we finally see how it works, aside from the styrofoam mannequin. And then at the end of the film, pause. Prior to all of this, Bobby goes to like speak at a Saw survivors group kind of a thing, and we have a lot of our survivors in the circle, if you will. You have the girl who tried to chop her arm off. You have the guy and the girl who had to cut their hands with the saws in Saw 5 to like fill the pints of blood thing. Like there's other survivors you recognize, and then there's those that you don't recognize. So you're like, I wonder like how many actual games there were. At the very beginning of this movie too, you had 2 guys strapped in like this outside mall to like this display of like saws, and they had to decide whether they were going to save themselves or the cheating girlfriend that was dating both of them behind their backs. So they decided to save themselves. So while that's your introduction to the horror of the movie, aside from Hoffman fixing his face, you then have at this support group, who is to show but Carrie Lewis, who plays our one and only Dr. Lawrence Gordon, standing up, giving a round of applause. And I remember seeing this in 2010 in the theaters, and the crowd went wild. We could not contain ourselves because we're like, holy shit. It took so long, so many years to get an answer as to what happened to Lawrence Gordon, and we get what happens to Lawrence Gordon. So Lawrence Gordon, after leaving the bathroom in the very first movie, cauterizes his leg on a steam pipe in that underground basement thing attached to the house that we are very familiar with in the second movie. John Kramer, who leaves the bathroom after saying "game over" to Adam and slams the door, finds a passed out Lawrence Gordon, revives him, brings him back to life, heals his leg, kind of has him be another apprentice, well, behind the scenes apprentice, because Jigsaw is very, engineering, and then Hoffman is like the brawn, and Amanda was just doing, what she could. But behind the scenes, you had Lawrence doing all of the surgical stuff. Who put the key behind that guy's eye in the second film? Who sewed that guy's eyes shut and sewed Art Blank's, the lawyer's, mouth closed in the fourth movie? Like, who did all of the surgical stuff? Well, it was Dr. Lawrence Gordon the entire time. And we know that Jill had passed the message to Lawrence, and Lawrence had left a message for Hoffman that said, "I know who you are." So it's a very all like, who said what, and I know your secret and things like that. Jigsaw left a tape to give to Jill, to give to Dr. Gordon, and he says, "In case of my death, I need you to look out for Jill for me. This is what you need to do, X, Y, and Z." So at the very end of the movie, after Hoffman, kills Jill, and everyone is dead, basically the police department's dead, massive amounts of bodies from Bobby's trials, from Bobby's games. A pig-masked, jigsaw-wearing robe guy comes, stabs Hoffman in the neck with a tranquilizer, and you have two other pig mask-wearing guys holding him down, and you're like, who are these guys? It is common belief, and it's not canon, but it's just a common belief amongst us who discuss it, that the two guys from the beginning of this film are the two guys who helped Dr. Lawrence Gordon, because they're survivors, helped pin Hoffman down. That's the only logical explanation. That's what we're sticking to. Brad and Ryan. So the main guy with the cane takes his mask off, and it's Lawrence Gordon the entire time. And then Hoffman had no idea that Lawrence was a part of this, and that's because he was the ace in the hole for the whole Jigsaw story, thanks to John Kramer, the genius that he was, the maniacal genius that he was, who despised murderers, and Hoffman was murdering. Stab, stab, stab. Crazy murder scenes. So John explains Lawrence Gordon explains, how he was behind the scenes this entire time, and then the two guys disappear, but Lawrence brings Hoffman back to the basement bathroom where it all happened, and you have the mummified corpses of all these people down there. You have Adam, you have Zepp, and you have the guy from the second movie who cut the skin off the back of his neck. I forget his name, but and then you have Lawrence's mummified foot down there as well. So Gordon chains Hoffman up. He leaves the room, throws the saw, looks at his mummified foot and then goes to the door, and then Hoffman's screaming. He turns the lights off. The green light is everywhere, and he goes, "Game over." Thus completes Saw, the final chapter. So we had John going, "Game over." Then we had Amanda going, "Game over." And then we had Lawrence going, "Game over." Man, this was a ride. I haven't marathoned them in a while, so this is a rush. Gotta pay attention. You have to watch it like a soap opera. We're going to discuss Jigsaw, which is Saw 8, technically, when we watch it. I don't feel quite well. I haven't felt quite well in a week, despite my cheery personality these last couple of reviews, but I am now currently on antibiotics, so that is a good thing. And I got a COVID swab, so we'll see how that goes. It's currently October 12th that we're having this conversation. Just feel like passing on the personal things as well, seeing as we just accumulated 7 movies worth of stories into these last couple reviews. And I know it's almost Halloween by the time I'm posting this. So, yeah, I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie. My aunt passed away from this virus back in June. And like, I don't have all the symptoms for it, but of course it's on my mind because like, it's a thing. But like, I don't go anywhere. I don't drink, so I'm not going to bars. I'm not going to restaurants. I'm not an idiot. Um, like I go to work. I come home. I occasionally go to get food, like a supermarket. Wipe the hell out of everything before I actually eat it. Like that's what your sanitizer and Clorox wipes are for. Like I don't know. Like I just feel like really weird. It was just a very weird and draining day. And yeah, so here's to sleeping. Enough of my little tidbit of personal information that you probably don't care about, but I said it. It is what it is. So, thus completes our Saw franchise cumulative of the first 7 films. We are going to discuss the 8th. Not tonight, because I'm going to go to sleep. But we'll talk about it tomorrow. My tomorrow. Possibly your today. Who knows when I'll post these? We'll find out. Mucho mahalo.